If you're a man over 60, listen carefully because chances are something you eat every single day, something you genuinely believe is healthy, may actually be destroying your testosterone. Quietly, relentlessly. And by the time you notice the signs, low energy, softer muscles, a fading sex drive, it may have already done real damage. You're doing your best. You're avoiding sugar, cutting down on red meat, trying to eat clean. Maybe you've swapped your milk for soy or your butter for vegetable oil. Maybe you start your day with a green smoothie packed with spinach, thinking you're doing something great for your body. But what if I told you that these very habits done with good intentions could be slowly wrecking your hormones? That one or more of these vegetables you eat daily may be mimicking estrogen, inflaming your blood vessels, or even blocking the minerals your body needs to function as a man. And no, this isn't fear-mongering. The science is clear. And the damage. It's showing up in men every single day in the form of fatigue, erectile dysfunction, and the silent loss of confidence no one likes to talk about. I am Dr. Nora Blake, a urologist and men's health specialist. For the past 2 decades, I've helped thousands of men navigate aging, hormone decline, and sexual health issues with real strategies backed by science, not hype. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly which 3 vegetables you need to avoid if you want to protect your testosterone, your circulation, and your manhood. But more importantly, I'll show you what to eat instead. Foods that actually support your hormones, that boost your nitric oxide levels, and help you feel like yourself again, even well into your 70s or 80s. So if you care about your energy, your drive, and your ability to feel like a man, stick with me to the end. It could change how you age and how you feel in your own body. Now, before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Drop the word yes in the comments if you've ever felt like your body isn't responding the way it used to. And if you're serious about reclaiming your strength, make sure to hit subscribe and tap the bell, because we talk about real answers here. Let's start with the first and perhaps most surprising offender, soy. Yes, the same soy that's been marketed for decades as a heart-healthy superfood. The same soy you might be pouring into your oatmeal, blending into your protein shakes, or sprinkling over your salad in the form of tofu. It's everywhere. And most men have no idea what it's doing to them. Now here's the thing, soy isn't inherently evil. But the way it affects the male body, especially past the age of 60, is where things get dangerous. You see, soy is one of the richest sources of phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen inside the human body. And when you're a man already experiencing a natural decline in testosterone, introducing estrogen-like compounds daily is like throwing gasoline on a fire you're trying to put out. The impact is more profound than most realize. These phytoestrogens bind to estrogen receptors and begin interfering with the delicate hormonal balance that keeps your body functioning like a man. The result, testosterone gets suppressed. Your energy levels dip, muscle tone fades, libido disappears. And for many men, the most devastating symptom of all, erectile dysfunction that creeps in quietly and stays without warning. What's worse is how sneaky soy has become. It's not just in soy milk and tofu anymore. It's hiding in protein bars, salad dressings, processed snacks, fake meat substitutes, and even healthy cereals. The average man who thinks he's eating clean might be unknowingly flooding his body with estrogenic compounds every single day. I've seen it firsthand. Men walk into my clinic exhausted, frustrated, and ashamed, believing something is deeply wrong with them. And they're right, but not in the way they think. I remember one man in particular who had swapped out red meat and dairy, completely trying to follow his cardiologist's advice. He was proud of his plant-based diet. But what he didn't realize was that he had replaced protein with soy at almost every meal. His blood work told the story: borderline testosterone and elevated estrogen. His face went pale when I explained it because no one had warned him. Not one doctor, not one article, no label. Just quiet, consistent sabotage. So what did we do? We cut the soy. Not completely fermented soy in moderation like tempeh or miso can be okay, but we eliminated the processed soy flooding his system. We brought in cleaner protein sources, pasture-raised eggs, organic poultry, wild-caught fish. And within just a few weeks, things began to shift. He felt stronger. His mental clarity returned. And yes, the spark in his intimacy returned too. But the moment that stuck with me. A note I received later from his wife. 5 words. Thank you for bringing him back. This isn't an isolated case. It's a quiet epidemic. Men trying to be healthier, unknowingly undermining their own masculinity one meal at a time. And if this sounds familiar, if you've been swapping meat for soy trading, milk for soy lattes, or downing soy protein shakes every day, don't panic. But don't ignore it either. Because your hormones are the foundation of your vitality. And once they slip, it doesn't just affect your bedroom, it changes how you walk through life. Now we're just getting started. Because soy might be the most confusing, but it's not the most dangerous. The second vegetable on this list is so deeply woven into modern diets that avoiding it almost feels impossible. And yet it may be triggering chronic inflammation in your body that kills testosterone from the inside out. I'm talking about something millions of men consume without thinking: corn. But not just any corn. We're going deeper than you think. Let's talk about corn. Not the kind you enjoy grilled on a summer afternoon or in a homemade tortilla. That's not the problem. I'm talking about the modern ultra-processed version of corn that's been broken down, refined, chemically extracted, and quietly injected into nearly every packaged food on your grocery store shelf. Corn syrup, corn starch, corn oil. These aren't ingredients anymore, they're industrial byproducts disguised as food. And for men over 60, they can be hormonal napalm. Now here's why this matters. Testosterone isn't just a hormone. It's a delicate system, a feedback loop between your brain, your glands, and your blood vessels. And one of the most silent, brutal enemies of that system is chronic inflammation. You don't feel it, you don't see it. But inside your body, it's burning. Low-grade relentless inflammation slowly suffocates the arteries, damages your cells, and interferes with everything from your circulation to your ability to produce nitric oxide, the gas molecule that literally allows blood to flow into your penis. And this is exactly where processed corn hits you hardest. Corn oil, for example, is loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. And while omega-6s aren't inherently bad, the modern Western diet has thrown the balance completely out of whack. A healthy omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is around 2.1. Most men today are walking around with ratios closer to 21, or worse. That imbalance flips a switch inside your immune system. Instead of keeping you healthy, it starts attacking you from the inside out. Add to that high-fructose corn syrup, the sweetener found in sodas, breads, sauces, cereals, and you've got a recipe for metabolic chaos. It spikes blood sugar, increases belly fat, and triggers insulin resistance, all of which contribute to low testosterone, poor circulation, and a dramatic rise in erectile issues in men over 60. But what makes this so dangerous is how invisible it is. You're not sitting down to a plate of corn. You're eating a sandwich, a granola bar, a frozen dinner. And buried inside is a cocktail of ingredients designed to extend shelf life, not yours. I remember one man, a retired engineer, who came to me confused. He exercised, stayed away from sugar, didn't drink or smoke. And yet, he had no energy. He woke up stiff and tired. His joints ached. He hadn't had a spontaneous erection in years. His labs showed sky-high inflammatory markers and testosterone at rock bottom. But his diet. It looked clean. Until we looked closer. Margarine instead of butter. Heart-healthy vegetable oils full of corn extract. Low-fat frozen meals packed with corn syrup. When we cleaned that out and replaced it with olive oil, fatty fish walnuts, and real food, his numbers changed. Yes, but more importantly, he changed. He stood taller, slept deeper, laughed louder. And for the first time in over a decade, he said the words every man wants to say and mean, "I feel like myself again." That's the power of inflammation. When you fight it, everything starts working again. But left unchecked, it destroys you slowly, quietly, and completely. And corn, processed, refined industrial corn, is feeding that fire day after day without you knowing it. But as alarming as this is, the next vegetable might be even more surprising. Because unlike soy or corn, it's one that's celebrated in every health blog, every fitness magazine, every juice cleanse guide. It's praised for its nutrients, its fiber, its antioxidants. But for men over 60, when eaten the wrong way, it can strip away one of the most vital minerals your body needs to even make testosterone in the first place. It's probably in your fridge right now, and chances are you've been drinking it every morning thinking you're giving your body a gift. But what you're actually doing is draining it. Let's talk about raw spinach and the hidden thief you never saw coming. Let's be clear, spinach is not the enemy. It's loaded with magnesium, iron, and a host of antioxidants. But when it comes to your testosterone levels, and especially for men over 60, the issue isn't what spinach is. It's how you eat it. Because when consumed raw and in large amounts, this superfood can quietly rob your body of one of the most essential building blocks of male vitality, zinc. Now, why does zinc matter so much? Zinc is the unsung hero of testosterone production. Without it, your body simply doesn't have the raw materials it needs to manufacture testosterone effectively. It's not just a supporting actor, it's a leading role in the hormonal orchestra. Low zinc has been directly linked to low testosterone, prostate dysfunction, decreased sperm quality, and delayed sexual response. And unfortunately, most men over 60 are already running low without knowing it. So here's where spinach comes in. Raw spinach is one of the highest sources of oxalates, naturally occurring compounds that bind to minerals like calcium and zinc in your digestive tract. And when they bind, they don't let go. That means the minerals pass right through your system without ever being absorbed. Imagine taking a multivitamin every morning and watching it flush straight down the drain. That's what oxalates are doing to your zinc. And remember, many men, especially those trying to be healthy, are starting their mornings with raw green smoothies. Handfuls of raw spinach blended with fruit almond milk, maybe some chia seeds. It sounds great on paper, but it's quietly starving your body of the very minerals you need to stay strong, sharp, and sexually alive. One man comes to mind. A former marathoner turned health enthusiast in his late 60s. He was doing everything right, exercising, eating clean, juicing greens every morning. But his energy was gone. His muscle mass was shrinking. His mood flat. Lab results showed low testosterone and surprisingly critically low zinc. But how his diet was full of zinc-rich foods. That's when we looked at his smoothie habit. Every morning, raw spinach, raw kale, no variation, no cooking. Just oxalates binding and flushing out his zinc like clockwork. The fix was beautifully simple. We swapped the raw greens for lightly sautéed spinach with his morning eggs. Within weeks, his energy picked up. His mood improved. His libido crept back in. His blood work confirmed it. Zinc levels rose, testosterone followed. But more importantly, he said something I'll never forget. I feel like my old self, but with the wisdom not to screw it up again. That's the key. Spinach isn't toxic. But for older men, the method matters. Cooking spinach breaks down a significant portion of oxalates, freeing up the minerals your body desperately needs. It's not about eliminating healthy foods, it's about preparing them in a way that truly supports your biology. So now we've uncovered the 3 health foods that may be undermining your testosterone without you even realizing it. Soy with its estrogen-mimicking compounds, corn with its inflammatory overload, and raw spinach with its ability to rob you of the minerals your hormones depend on. But knowing what not to eat is only half the story. Because if you've been eating these foods for years, your system needs more than just avoidance. It needs rebuilding. And the good news is that's exactly what we're going to do next. In the next section, I'll show you 3 powerful foods, natural, accessible, and proven that can help revive your testosterone, restore blood flow, and rebuild the masculine energy you thought was gone for good. If you're ready to stop guessing and start reclaiming control of your health, stay with me. What comes next might be the most important meal plan of your life. So now that we've cleared the land, removed the hidden saboteurs from your plate, it's time to rebuild. Because if your testosterone has been quietly eroded by years of hormonal disruptors, inflammatory oils, and nutrient blockers, you don't just need to protect it. You need to fight to reclaim it. And the good news, your body is incredibly responsive when you give it the right fuel. Let's start with a true powerhouse. A vegetable so overlooked, yet so potent in its ability to restore circulation and support testosterone, naturally, it almost feels like nature's apology for everything else. I'm talking about beetroot. Beets or beetroot aren't just colorful root vegetables, they are nature's nitric oxide factory. And nitric oxide, as you now know, is the gas that relaxes blood vessels, allowing blood to flow smoothly and efficiently. For men, especially men over 60, this is not just about heart health, it's about bedroom health. Because when blood can't flow properly, erections become weak and inconsistent or disappear entirely. And nitric oxide is the key to reversing that. But here's the beauty of beetroot: it doesn't just help temporarily. Studies show that regular consumption of beetroot can restore endothelial function, the health of your artery walls, within weeks. It's like giving your blood vessels a second life. And the mechanism is simple. The dietary nitrates in beets get converted into nitric oxide in your body, increasing blood flow not just to your heart or brain, but to every vital area of your manhood. But again, it's not just about eating beetroot, it's how you eat it. Most canned or pickled beets have been stripped of their nitrate content through heavy processing and packed with sodium that counteracts their benefit. What you want is fresh beetroot, either steamed, roasted, or grated raw into salads. A simple 4-ounce serving a few times a week can make a measurable difference. One man told me, "It didn't just help me in bed, it gave me energy during the day I hadn't felt in years." Now, boosting circulation is only part of the equation. To truly rebalance your hormones, you need to support the organs that manage them. And one of the most overlooked pieces of that puzzle is your liver. That's where our second food hero steps in: broccoli. Broccoli and its cruciferous cousins like cauliflower and Brussels sprouts contain a compound called sulforaphane. This miracle molecule helps your liver metabolize and eliminate excess estrogen. Why does that matter? Because too much estrogen, not just too little testosterone, is one of the key reasons men feel sluggish, soft, and emotionally flat as they age. Your liver is your hormonal filter. And when it's overworked, clogged, or undernourished, it stops clearing out the hormonal junk. Sulforaphane acts like a deep cleanse for that system, helping restore hormonal balance in your favor. But again, there's a catch. Most people overcook their broccoli, boiling it until it's limp and gray. That destroys sulforaphane before it ever reaches your bloodstream. The trick is to steam it lightly, 3 to 4 minutes tops, until it's still bright green and slightly crisp. Or eat it raw, shredded in a salad with a healthy fat like olive oil to boost absorption. One client, a 70-year-old who had given up on ever feeling like a man again, told me after 6 weeks of adding steamed broccoli to his meals, "I don't know what happened, but my drive, my focus, even my mood, it's all coming back." And that brings us to the third and final hero, perhaps the most unexpected. Mushrooms. Specifically white button mushrooms. Not exotic, not expensive. But inside these humble fungi is a compound that does something no prescription drug can do without side effects. It protects the testosterone you already have from being stolen. Let me explain. As men age, an enzyme called aromatase becomes more active, especially in men with a little extra belly fat. Aromatase is the thief. It converts your valuable testosterone into estrogen. It's why older men often gain weight in female areas, lose muscle tone, and struggle with emotion regulation. But here's where mushrooms shine: they contain natural aromatase inhibitors. These compounds block the enzyme and prevent it from stealing your testosterone. Not only does this help preserve your hormone levels, it increases the amount of free usable testosterone circulating in your body. Sautéing mushrooms in olive oil with garlic a few times a week is more than just tasty, it's therapeutic. I had a patient who was doing everything else right, eating well, exercising, sleeping properly, but his testosterone was stuck. Once we added mushrooms, his labs started to shift. And more importantly, he shifted. I didn't get a rush of energy, he told me. I got something better. I got steady, quiet strength back. I walk into a room now and feel solid. That's what we're after here. Not fake fixes, not synthetic spikes, but the real, grounded, masculine energy that comes from healing your body at the root level. And these 3 foods, beetroot, broccoli, and mushrooms, aren't magic. They're simply aligned with your biology. They give your body what it's been begging for, maybe for years. And once you supply that, the results speak for themselves. But we're not done. Because even with the right foods on your plate, there's one more piece to unlock everything you've just learned. One mineral, almost completely forgotten by modern nutrition. But when used correctly, it can unleash more free testosterone than any over-the-counter supplement you've ever tried. And it's probably already in your pantry. Let's talk about boron, the forgotten spark of male vitality. Now, if beetroot recharges your circulation, broccoli resets your hormonal balance, and mushrooms guard the testosterone you already have, then boron is the quiet ignition switch that makes it all work harder, deeper, and more effectively. Boron. You've probably never heard your doctor mention it. You won't see it advertised in flashy supplement commercials. And yet it may be one of the most crucial trace minerals for any man looking to restore his masculinity at the cellular level. Why? Because boron doesn't just support testosterone, it frees it. Here's what most men don't realize. Not all testosterone in your body is usable. Much of it is bound to a protein called SHBG, sex hormone-binding globulin. Think of SHBG like a security guard that handcuffs your testosterone, locking it up so it can't actually do anything. It's there, it exists, but it's trapped. And the more SHBG you have, the less free bioavailable testosterone you can actually use. Now here's where boron comes in. This tiny, often forgotten mineral helps reduce SHBG levels in the blood, which means it releases more of your testosterone naturally. No injections, no patches, no artificial boosters. Just your own hormone finally unlocked and active in your system where it belongs. The science backs it up. In one study published in the journal Biological Trace, Element Research, men who supplemented with just 6 millimolars of boron per day for 1 week saw their free testosterone levels increase by nearly 28%. That's not a small bump, that's a transformation. And unlike many so-called testosterone boosters, boron doesn't stimulate your body to make more. It simply allows you to access the testosterone you already have. But here's the best part, you don't need pills or powders. Boron is found naturally in several delicious everyday foods: dates, raisins, prunes, almonds, avocados. Even a small handful of these added to your morning or afternoon routine can begin tipping the hormonal balance back in your favor. One of my favorite ways: a few chopped dates blended into a protein shake or a ripe avocado sliced over eggs with sea salt. Simple, natural, powerful. And men often ask me how long before I feel something. For some, it's subtle at first: a deeper sleep, a sharper mind, a more grounded sense of confidence. For others, especially those who've felt flat or tired for years, it's almost like the lights come back on. One man told me, "It's not like I became a teenager again. It's that I stopped feeling like I was slowly disappearing." That's what real hormonal balance feels like, not a manic energy spike, but a steady return to self. But remember, boron works best as part of the bigger picture. It's not a magic pill, it's a key one that works when the rest of your system is primed. When you're feeding your circulation with beetroot, clearing out estrogen, with broccoli, protecting your testosterone, with mushrooms. Boron unlocks the next level. And now you've seen the full map. You know the 3 hidden health foods silently undermining your testosterone. You understand how soy-processed corn and raw spinach, when consumed daily and improperly, can chip away at the very foundation of your manhood. But you also know the way forward: 3 restorative foods and 1 forgotten mineral that can help rebuild you from the inside out. So now the question is, what will you do with that knowledge? Because the truth is, you don't need to accept this slow decline. You don't need to settle for low energy, lost desire, or fading confidence. You have more control than you've been led to believe. And it doesn't begin with prescriptions. It begins with what's on your plate. It begins with knowing better. Choosing smarter. Acting sooner. And if you've made it this far into the video, I already know something about you. You care. You care about your health, your identity, your strength as a man. So here's what I want you to do next. So here we are. We've exposed the 3 innocent-looking vegetables that, when eaten daily, can slowly erode a man's testosterone: soy, processed corn, and raw spinach. And we've armed you with their counterbalance 3 foods that fuel real masculine health from the inside out: beetroot, broccoli, and mushrooms. Plus, the secret mineral boron that helps unlock the testosterone you already have and puts it back to work where it belongs. But this isn't just a list of foods, it's a roadmap. Because the truth is, testosterone isn't just about libido. It's about life force. It's about how you feel when you wake up in the morning, how you carry yourself in a room, how sharp your memory is, how strong your handshake feels, how deep your sense of purpose runs. And for men over 60, reclaiming that feeling is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. I've seen it time and again. Men who thought they were just getting older realize that aging doesn't have to mean shrinking. It doesn't have to mean giving up, fading out, or losing who you are. Not when your body still has the blueprint for strength, clarity, drive, and yes, desire. The only difference now is that you have to work with your biology, not against it. And that work begins with the smallest, most consistent choices you make every day, what you put on your plate. Because your body is always listening, it's always adapting. It doesn't care how old you are, it cares about the signal you send. And when that signal is built on soy milk, microwaved corn, and raw spinach smoothies, your body responds with fatigue, weakness, and hormonal shutdown. But when the signal is clean, bold, and supportive root vegetables that open your blood vessels, greens, that clean your liver, mushrooms, that block testosterone theft, and minerals that awaken your strength, that's when your body begins to remember what it was designed for. And I know this can feel overwhelming at first. You might be thinking, do I have to change everything? No. Start with one thing. Swap the soy milk for a homemade cashew milk. Replace the corn with sweet potatoes. Steam your spinach instead of blending it raw. Add some beets to your breakfast. Keep some almonds and dates on hand. Build these into your life, not some perfect diet plan. And as those changes build, so will you. Now, before you go, I want you to do two things for yourself. First, drop the word ready in the comments if you're committed to making at least one change this week. Just one. That's how momentum starts. That's how your body starts listening again. And second, hit that subscribe button, because this is just the beginning. I'm going to be sharing more insights, practical science-backed, male-focused strategies to help you not only maintain your testosterone, but thrive as a man well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. You don't need to chase youth, you just need to reclaim yourself. I'm Dr. Nora Blake, and I believe in your biology. Let's rebuild it one smart choice at a time. So now, I'd love to hear from you. How did today's message resonate with you? Was there a moment that made you pause and reflect on how you've been treating your health, or perhaps how you've been neglecting it without even realizing? Feel free to share your age, your year of birth, and where you're watching from down in the comments. We truly value getting to know you, because the more we understand the real men behind these screens, the better we can continue creating meaningful, practical content that speaks directly to your life and your needs. And if even one part of today's video made you feel more informed, more empowered, or more hopeful, please consider subscribing. This channel is here to support you in living healthier, longer, and stronger, one smart choice at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this step. I'm Dr. Nora Blake, and I'll see you in the next video.